Aztec is a term used to refer to a race of people who once lived in central Mexico. Their civilization was at its height at the time when Spain conquered the Americas in the 16th century. The Aztecs arrived in the Valley of Mexico toward the end of the 12th century and migrated onto the island of Tenochtitlan in the mid-1200s. They were an ethnically mixed group of nomadic people that absorbed the culture of the states they moved into. In 1325, they established their capital in Tenochtitlan, and for the next century, they maintained a precarious existence while paying tributes to neighboring tribes. But through alliances, treachery, and conquest during the 15th and early 16th century, the Aztec became a powerful political and cultural group. Through conquest and the absorption of other cultures, the Aztecs achieved a high degree of development in engineering, architecture, art, mathematics, and astronomy. The Aztecs had 3 calendars. The first was used only for religious events. The second was the solar calendar of 365 days that we're familiar with today. The third was also a religious calendar that used a 260-day year and a 52-year time cycle. Aztec skill in engineering was evident in the fortifications of their island capital. The Aztec further developed sculpture, weaving, metalwork, ornamentation, music, and picture writing for historical records. Agriculture was well advanced and trade flourished. The Aztec political and social structure was based on 3 groups: nobility, priesthood, and military. The priesthood was a powerful political and religious force, and the Aztec army was large and efficient. Prisoners of war were used for human sacrifice to satisfy the many gods of the Aztec, notably their god of war. Part of the Aztecs' military strength grew out of an alliance of 3 Aztec city-states called Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan. This was known as the Triple Alliance, or the Aztec Empire. These 3 city-states ruled the area in and around the Valley of Mexico from 1428 until they were defeated by the Spanish conquistadors and their native allies in 1521. At its height, the Triple Alliance controlled most of central Mexico from coast to coast, except for a small area to the southeast of Tenochtitlan called Tlaxcala, which was the kingdom of the Tlaxteca people. This kingdom did not join the Triple Alliance and was frequently at war with it. Although relatively small, Tlaxcala would later play a role in the defeat and destruction of the Triple Alliance, out of revenge for the way the Aztec had dominated them so brutally. At its pinnacle, the Aztec culture was rich in complex mythological and religious traditions, and achieved remarkable architectural and artistic accomplishments. A particularly gruesome element of Aztec culture was the practice of human sacrifice, sometimes conducted on a mass scale. In 1521, a conquistador named Hernán Cortés conquered Tenochtitlan and defeated the Aztec Triple Alliance, with help from a large number of Tlaxcalans who allied their small kingdom with him. Subsequently, the Spanish conquerors established a new settlement on the site of the ruined Aztec capital and called it Mexico City. Aztec culture and history is primarily known from archaeological evidence found in excavations, particularly in and around Mexico City, from things that were written at the time and preserved on paper made from tree bark, and from eyewitness accounts by some of the Spanish conquistadors that were recorded in writing. At its height, the Aztec Empire consisted of roughly 25 million people, spread over some 80,000 square miles. The empire was made possible by the Aztecs' successful agricultural methods, including intensive cultivation, irrigation, and reclamation of wetlands. We know a lot about the Aztecs thanks to a Dominican cleric named Bernardino de Sahagún. Over a 20-year period, he compiled an encyclopedia about the Aztecs that survives to this day.